Makatremo said today I'll be bringing you stories on NDC4 demonstration now one year and rano. Now one of such stories how BBC World reported on it. We see a koko kenkan near her BBC4 commenter and crofo air passe story no ase. But let us read the story. Now BBC reporter say Ghana opposition demands voter roll audit, right? And that's the story from BBC. I'll say thousands of supporters of Ghana's main opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, have been protesting nationwide to demand an independent forensic audit of the country's voter register. Party officials say they have identified errors in the electoral roll for December's nationwide poll that require correction. The election authority says errors that were previously identified have been corrected. Ghana, which has held a series of peaceful but hotly contested votes over the past 3 decades, is heading for another knife-edge presidential election. In capital city Accra, demonstrators clad in red and white t-shirts carried placards with inscriptions such as "We need justice in this election." The NDC alleges discrepancies including illegal name transfers, missing voters, and the inclusion of the names of over 50,000 dead people. NDC Director of Elections, Dr. Manebuama, said an independent audit of the electoral roll is the only way to ensure transparency and fairness in the electoral process. He said his party had suggested the Electoral Commission allow the UN Development Program to facilitate the process, but that this idea was rejected. The EC has said calls for an audit are misguided and unnecessary, but the opposition warns that thousands of registered voters risk being disenfranchised if errors persist. The commission said mistakes highlighted previously have been corrected. The communications director of the governing New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba, said his party has faith in the Electoral Commission's independence to ensure a credible vote in December. Now, Richard Ahiagba no say someone whose name wasn't in the register but was made to vote by this EC. How will he not come out to say yes or no, they have trust or they have faith in the EC? Richard Ahiagba shouldn't be the person who will be speaking for us. Anyway, as Ghana goes to the polls in December 2024, in a 2-horse race between John Mahama, an opposition candidate and former president, and current Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia, both are promising to fix the country's poor economic situation. So that is the report by BBC, how BBC reported on Ghana's na they said BBC are reporting on no na obi a wonya answer bia no read the BBC report no who they say the opposition is calling for independent auditing, forensic audit, after the EC admitting errors. The person who sees say, oh, there's nothing wrong with what the NDC is calling for, right? Now, NDC4, there's also another report, 3news.com, on NDC4 petition into yanking kinda yenshe and also see enough is enough. Full text of NDC's petition to EC for forensic audit of voter register. So petition now we come a year electoral commission no NDC4 petition no. Let us read the full text. So say 11 key issues identified so far by the NDC to warrant forensic audits of the voters register. 1. Unauthorized voter transfers. I mean, we all know that NDC4 recover and I say discover uncover a year evidence. Almost more evidence of 243,540 illegal transfers in the provisional voter register, right? 2. Unidentifiable voter transfer path. Over 15,000 cases of untraceable voter registration path were identified, suggesting potential fraudulent registration or manipulation of voter data. You can say voter registration path in the sense that me MELODIES amiti hei me koye me voters register ewo ebia ningo pram ebia afienya basic school. Okay, inti okona akwa check here e betre say ehona me ye me registration. NDC4 discover say there are some registrations be a akoswa ye hu baby a wo mo register ye nim constituencies and na polling station na one crofo ne and you see things like that no ye to me man ba ne say ebia ya hye de twa crofo egum once the issues by a na say devices ni bia ayera no and ye MPP for twa crofo egum see ye twa crofo egum sana that's when ebetumi aba say obi ya register no nanso ye record baby a register no into no eno no NDC phones are discover 3 deletion of registered voters. Nearly 4,000 voters registered in 2023 have been deleted from the 2024 provisional register without valid justification. Yasanso deleting crofobia Ephraim. Na ye delete omono. Yan tre reason bia ye delete san crofono. And also NDC4 are discover. 4. Misplaced voter transfers. Approximately 2,094 voters were transferred to different polling stations but were not reflected in the absent voter list. Yes. 5. Corrupted data files, or say corrupt files, including missing names and photos of registered voters, present a significant risk to the integrity of the election, particularly on voting day. 6. EC's delayed transparency. The EC failed to provide the provisional voters register to NDC in a timely manner for scrutiny, releasing the register hours before the voter exhibition exercise. This hindered the party's ability to examine the accuracy of the voters register fully. And so it is also an issue with the NDC. Say EC no amfa register no anye de ambantem. Atiase ama NDC for anhwemuntem enhu errors ni na. 7. Admissions by the EC of manipulation. Also the EC admitted to errors and illegal voter transfers during a press conference, but justified these mistakes as correctable during the exhibition exercise. However, the NDC rejects this reasoning as the scale of the discrepancies in the voters register necessitates an independent forensic audit. 8. Impact on 2024 general elections. These discrepancies, errors, data distortion, and irregularities threaten the credibility of the upcoming election. The manipulation of the voters register undermines the constitutional right to vote and the integrity of the electoral process, posing a serious threat to Ghana's democracy. And so it goes on, the petition goes on the grounds of the petition and all that. In the NDC4 full statements, the demands, first, almost demanded for forensic audit, for the EC to convene stakeholders for collaboration, the EC to agree to publish the findings of the forensic audit, re-exhibit the register and the forensic audit after the forensic audit, and then review and correct all unauthorized transfers, adopt a revised timeline for electoral activities, and institute accountability and integrity measures. Okay, so NDC4 petition, and NDC petition to the EC. That's quite elaborative. Anyway, mon try mo adwen e comment box demo, but that's it.